Hey everybody, hey you guys, it's Stacia. I wanted to introduce you to Eric B., co-founder of Real Estate Funnel Systems, located right here in beautiful sunny San Diego, California. Eric is nationally known as a real estate investing trainer who's taught people from all walks of life to buy, fix, and flip homes all over the country. Before he got started training others in flipping houses, Eric had a successful career in both real estate appraisal and real estate sales. And Eric is an expert in generating seller leads, securing deals, and continues to invest in properties across the US. He's super passionate about teaching others here about the proven real estate investing systems he's created in his own business, helping others experience more success in their own real estate investing business. And on a personal note, Eric is a former professional motocross racer who has lived in Pacific Beach, California, with his wife, Mariana, and two sons, and their beautiful home, affectionately known as the Beehive. So, welcome to this training. I'm so excited to kind of pick his brain about where he finds these motivated sellers, because there's actually really a mindset of finding motivated and distressed sellers on the internet or with our marketing platform.
Mm-hmm. Man, thank you, Stacia. Quite the intro. I never know how to follow that. That's great. But yeah, this is a really cool topic. It's something that I talk a lot about. I'm always constantly involved in is marketing for sellers, motivated sellers, and have been in this game for a very, very long time. I think I first started marketing for motivated sellers, like 15 years ago or so, is about when I put out my first bandit sign. Let's see, almost 15 years ago. And so, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time as far as all the different strategies, handwritten envelopes and letters, everything else. I've done it, just about everything. And it's been a lot of fun. And today it's more competitive than it ever is. Every time I talk to somebody, they're always like, yeah, but my market is so competitive. You have no idea, yeah, but you don't know my market. And, I know, I get it. Everybody lives in a competitive market. We're all in a competitive market. So just know that that's the common denominator. We are no different than anybody else. Every market's competitive, just about, I think it's a fair statement. And so we got to play the game at a very high competitive level. So the topic that we're covering, or that the discussion, I suppose, is how we find these motivated sellers. And Stacia kind of alluded to it up front, is a lot of it is a mindset. A lot of it is just kind of how you approach the business and how you approach, your marketing right up front, fundamentally. Okay. So something that we always hear in the marketing realm, or in sales, we're all in sales and we're all in marketing. Okay. So in that, if that's the truth, then we need to know who our clients are, who's our customer. Okay. Well, somebody that wants to sell their house. Yes, that's okay. More specifically, who? Okay. And then more specifically, who? And then more specifically, who? Okay. You have to ask yourself those questions and go deeper. Okay. So the example of how that conversation would go is like, okay, well, yes, I want motivated sellers. I want really motivated sellers. Okay. I want like motivated sellers, like they are so motivated, they are willing to sell it 50 cents on the dollar today. Okay. If you're talking about that, then you should definitely go after the foreclosure type of, go after the high stress. That's where the people are the most motivated, right? They have a foreclosure coming up. There's challenges. There's pros and cons to that. I used to work, and I still work foreclosure data a lot, and foreclosure clients work with them a lot. I have grown to love that demographic. I know that process really, really well. And so I can, speak to it and service that that client very well. So I love it. Now it's also very, very messy, you know, a lot of ups and downs and a lot of stress and timelines and everything else. So I have some clients that like, they don't even want to touch the foreclosures. It's too much stress and too much timeline, or too much anxiety, and the reliability of those types of clients that are in foreclosure is low generally. You know, I mean, like they will bounce on you in a minute, or they will do anything else. So the point of me rambling through this is that you got to know your clients. And so if it's foreclosures, great. Now we're going to look for the foreclosures, and you got to know everything about the foreclosures. If it's, hey, you want to really focus in on probates, that's the niche of a clientele that you want to work with, then great. You need to really know that niche inside and out. That's the clientele that you've got to understand every single detail about them, so you can speak their language. You can know their process. You can know their pain. What confusions are they facing right now that you are going to be able to solve for? Those are the questions that need to be asked. So we go through that. That's what I tell everybody. Know who your clients are. Who do you want to work with? And then once you kind of get an idea of that, and it doesn't need to be just one. Like it can be like, okay, well, I want to work with distressed homeowners, so I'd like to work with some foreclosure people, you know, the foreclosure demographic, and I'd also people that are just before foreclosure, they might have liens on their property. So I'm going to market to the people with liens on their property, and maybe the vacant properties. You know, I'm going to really go after the code enforcement, code violation, and the vacant properties. Those are, you know, its own niche. But as you kind of get all of that and you go through that thought process and really identify who you want to be working with, then you got to go find, the data. And so finding the data is the next question. And what we do is we use PropStream, and not only PropStream, but it's a list providing, or list software, propstream.com, and you can go pull these types of motivated seller lists right from PropStream. And the PropStream, why I like PropStream is because it is nationwide. I can go into any market and pull data, and it's a very reasonably reliable source. There's others. I use Property Radar here on the West Coast for all the markets that I'm in on Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona. We use Property Radar. So if you're in the West Coast, I would highly recommend Property Radar and PropStream. Those are two really good data sources. And or List Source is another good one, that's nationwide. So you can, once you identify who you want to market to, which client you want to serve per se, then now you need to know where to go to find them. Okay. And that's what we're talking about. Property Radar, PropStream.
Are you guys using these tools right now? I want to know. Comment below.
Yeah.
Are you using these tools? Are you using other tools? Please comment in the comments. Hashtag live, of course, if you're live, and hashtag replay if you're watching the replay. I forgot to say that. I want to make sure that we know we have a few people here live, so I want to know who's watching here live and who's watching the replay. And stick to the end, guys, because we're going to share with you all of these resources in a very amazing guide that we put together for you. So make sure to stay tuned to the end.
Yes, thank you, Stacia. Yes, we get these questions all the time. So, and it's not just a one answer fits all. So we built a really cool resource guide that really speaks to all these different resources that we use and how we use them. So that's and that there's other data sources. So, and what I always tell my clients is like the best data is the hardest to find data, or the hardest to get data. So, the big list source and these big data providers, those are great. Just know a lot of people are using those to get the data too. Okay. So if you have a special inside line through the county courthouse to get this specific list, right, of this narrow demographic, it's kind of your inside line. Great. That's a huge advantage. Anytime you can carve out those little slices of a data set that might be a little bit harder to find or a little bit unique to get, but you got it, boom. That's a great high quality list that I would go after. The other way that we build our list that's always happening in the background is our Driving for Dollars, our Ugly House campaign. We're always marking down, and everybody on our team, we all know what to do when we see an ugly house that's like, oof, that's something that should probably get an offer from us, or go door knock on that, or whatever else. We have a process for that, so we always are building our own organic internal list for that. So between PropStream, ListSource, and Property Radar, that's where we're going for our lists. And then you can get even, a little bit, this is where kind of like your black belt shows up with the lists finding techniques, is reverse engineering who is a great candidate for your services. Let me give you an example. And this is simply an example. Take this thought process and match it to however you want to go with it. Okay. But this is how the thought process looks for me, is like, hey, I know a lot of my clients are like 65 years old or older. Okay. And they are the type of demographic that are downsizing. They're the empty nesters. They're moving into that retirement phase. So, and people kind of migrate away from their family house at different phases in life, but usually it's kind of like going into retirement, shortly after retirement, but like life starts changing. Okay. And when the kids are, they have moved on and then some. That's when the people, you're 65, arthritis is building up, your knees are hurting, you don't want to go up or down stairs anymore. It's time to sell the house. Okay. You finally got a ton of equity in the family house. It's time to sell this thing. And maybe the maintenance has been slipping behind on that family house for a long time. So I got equity. I've got bad knees. We got to downsize, all of these things. Okay. Maintenance is slipping behind on the house. That's the demographic where a cash offer, quick, easy cash offer makes a lot of sense. These are a lot of that story fits a lot of the clients that we work with. Okay. So if that were the case, then how could we find these people through data? How could we reverse engineer to find these people? Okay. So these people typically have owned their house for 30 plus years. Okay. If you've owned your house for 30 plus years, you're usually how old? 60, 65, 70. Okay. And if the house is over 1,700 square feet, oftentimes it's a 2-story, right? The classic one level, 1-story house, Rambler style house, yes, they do go up to 2,000 square feet, right? But the vast majority of that style of house in any market USA is 1,700 square feet and lower. Most of them are like 1,500, 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. We just see a lot of those. So when you look at the houses that are a little bit larger, that 1,800 to 2,000, and then some, it usually means that there's 2 stories. Okay, that's when you get that second story on there. And so if you were to just look for how many people have owned their house for this long and own a house that is 2,000 square feet or larger, right? It's a good chance that you're narrowing your demographic right in onto the people that are fitting that demographic that I outlined. So hope that makes sense. I know that kind of, it's a little bit of an abstract process to reverse engineer where these people are. But that's how you get ahead of the marketing curve. Okay. That's how you really get into and communicate with your clients at the highest level. Another example of that is with foreclosures. Oftentimes the foreclosures, once somebody gets filed in foreclosure, they're getting marketed by everybody, right? We know that. Okay. So what if we could market to them just before they go to foreclosure? So what are the signs that a foreclosure is coming down the pike? It hasn't been filed yet, but what are some of those signs that show up when somebody's in a financial stress, when things are not, going ideal? Maybe they have some liens on their properties. right? Maybe they have a big lien. Maybe the debt is piling up, okay? And that pressure of that debt is piling up. And, as we all know, I mean, most people are, one bad news away from having to sell, maybe even, health, or job instability in the job sector. In any of these reasons why people will sell. So it's just a logic.
What was it we were talking about this morning too? Divorce, distress.
Yeah, death. Yep. Disease. So, that's kind of the reality. So I think, us being here and being ready to help navigate these moments with these people is really going to be critical. So, so who are you marketing to them? Why are you marketing to them? Another ingredient that if you're new to this marketing game, another thing to keep in mind is like, why are you marketing to these specific people? And the reason why that's relevant is because you want to be able to connect with people. So if you have, like, let's just say as an example, maybe you've gone through the probate process in your own family or you've helped somebody go through the probate process, and the challenges deeply, like you've gone through it, you've seen the pain, you've felt the pain, so you could communicate that process really, really well. Okay, that might be a reason why you want to market to that demographic, because you can relate with them on a deep level. You know exactly where their pain spots are and how to help them. Same with the foreclosure. Maybe you've gone through a foreclosure. Maybe you've gone through a short sale. Maybe you've gone through these things. That way, that just allows you to connect easier with the clients once you get them on the phone. Okay. And that's where the conversion happens. So just keep that in mind. Don't lose sight of that when you're working with your clients. It's all about how can you relate with them. So how well do you know them? And then go find them using the data set. Yep. And then once you do that, then it becomes now, okay, let's say we found them on, Property Radar, PropStream, or whatever else. Then we got to skip trace them. We got to get as much information as we can about them so that we can then deploy our marketing. And so now it's pretty standard is to skip trace. So once we download a list from a list provider, then we go through a skip tracing process. So there's a couple different resources that we use for skip tracing. One of which is PropStream. So PropStream is one of the data providers. You can also skip trace right out of there. So that's really a cool feature of PropStream is that the skip tracing is right there.
So for those who don't know, like what skip trace, so you mean when I go to PropStream and get a list, like that list is not good? Like the numbers are good?
Well, yeah, it's a great question. I mean, so let's bring context to that. The list is good. It's just incomplete data compared to what you could get. Okay. So when you skip trace, you get more data. You get a more complete client profile, the data set. So that's where you can get their email, the phone numbers that are associated with that contact, and quite a bit more information. But the email and the phone number are the two things that are most critical to us as a marketer, right? So that way we can try to find them on Facebook. We can try to cold call them. We can send them text message, RVM, email. We can deploy all of these different levels of marketing once we get their complete client profile. So that's what we do. We export the list, the data set, if you will, and then go get it skip traced. We get either skip trace at PropStream, or another provider that we've been using more of is a Batch Skip Tracer. So Batch Skip Tracer, it's in our resource guide, is a great skip trace provider. I like it a little bit better than PropStream. PropStream's great, but the Batch Skip Tracer program, I think, is a little bit better. It gives a little bit more complete client profile information. So that's the one that we use on our bulk. And once we get that, then that's when we can deploy whatever marketing strategy we want to. So, and that's going to range from text messages to RVMs to, our Facebook ads and cold calling and, all the rest of it. So, and then eventually letters, so.
We got a question here.
Yeah, we got some questions. Cool.
We actually work with people, investors across the country. We're both located in San Diego. So, we have our business here in San Diego that we find motivated sellers for, but we're in actually several different states across the country. Where are you at, Rafael? By the way, comment below. Let us know where you guys are at. Where are you guys marketing?
Yeah, so good question. So, Stacey, I'm going to just kind of elaborate real quickly on your answer there. So, we're in San Diego County. That's my market. So I'm in San Diego County. That's where I'm actively marketing and buying real estate. Okay. So that's where I operate for this topic. But I do have, like Stacia was saying, I work with clients all across the country as a marketing consultant. Okay. And real estate consultant. So we're deploying our marketing strategies in 15 different markets across the country from coast to coast. So we're deploying marketing all major markets in the West Coast, and then East Coast. We have some in Ohio and scattered all over. So
Lago, Florida.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different marketing experiments going on that we get a pull from. So
in the house.
Yeah, nice. Virginia, very good. Yep.
Awesome.
All competitive markets, right? Everybody wants to say it, so I'll say it for you. That's a competitive market. That's a competitive market. And that's a competitive market. It's all competitive. You got to be really sharp out there. I mean, that's just kind of the name of the game right now. And so we're, that being said, we're driving more leads now than I ever have in my career as far as a volume. And it's because of the technology that we're able to utilize right now. It's spectacular in comparison to just a couple of years ago. I mean, where I was sending so many letters and we were all over the place. The technology now is put us in a whole nother bracket as far as what type of lead volume we can do. So
for those of you who don't know, Eric is pretty humble about it. He's gone on over 300 appointments in 1 year and closed 98 of them. So if you're new to the group, we are sharing a lot of ways that he's been able to create to be really productive. And as well as I want to talk about, okay, now we got a list, which everybody gets, it's public record, but being able, whoever can get the information, the most quality information, the quickest way possible to get in front of them. Let's talk about that process and how having a team like ours can help you do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, it's, you're completely right. What we do is it's a speed of implementation, and once you get all of these things together, there's a lot of moving parts, and what we just talked about is the big picture, and it's all the true big picture. But once you kind of get into the granular aspect of really doing it, it gets a little bit more complicated. I know you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, here's a question too.
Yeah. Okay, go for it.
How do you check if the sellers are in the do not call list registry? And that probably goes into what you're about to just say.
That's a great question, Rafael. You're right. There are a couple more steps in this process, and one of them is bouncing it off of the do not call list, and so the do not call registry, and we have a process that we go through for that, and it's even more in depth than just a DNC. We do a litigator scrub. We go through and scrub our list in great detail, just to make sure the accuracy is there. So that is what we do, and so how we work with our clients is building all of this system together, linking it all together so it is one moving system, and then deploying their marketing dollars into their marketing, into their market, and tracking it, making sure that everything is happening the way it needs to, and the phone calls are recorded and put right into your CRM, and that you actually have a sustainable, marketing engine, opportunity engine, So because that's a, from an acquisition guy, that's what Stacia was alluding to. My forte is the actual seller appointments. That's what I love. I'm an acquisition guy. So the seat that I sit is negotiating contracts at the seller appointment. That's really my forte. And so everything we do is to set me, the acquisition guy, up for success, right? So we need motivated leads. We need to have them qualified, and then boom, I do my desktop analysis. I put it all onto my iPad for my paperless seller appointment system with my deal analyzer, and signing contracts right there on the spot, and we rock and roll. So that's really what I do, and what I consult on is how to do that efficiently, right?
Yes. So if you guys want access to basically your real estate business in a box, is our real estate funnel systems guide. We actually put together all these resources with PropStream, all the tools, our favorite CRM, batch lead, what was it called? Batch lead
Stacker.
Yeah. That's right. Yep. And everything that you need to run a well-oiled machine.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want that hashtag resource guide below, and I can get that to you as well. And what other things do we want to share before we close it out here?
Man, I think just being super interested in the process of marketing is going to be the biggest thing that I would always recommend. Is being a student of the game is a big part of it. Understanding today's technology, because it's changing a lot. So I highly recommend checking out our resource guide. We put a lot of research R&D into what resources are working and what are not. And that's a summary right there in that guide of what we're using, and a little description as to why. So that will help anybody that has more questions on these topics. And then if you have any other questions about how to set seller appointments or track it, man, raise your hand, ask questions. I'd love to share and help people get better results all the way around.
Yes. And if you want to book a call with Eric as well too, we have a couple of spots this week that you can grab. He has walked through actually a couple people on how we use PropStream, and any other questions that you want to go over with a quick a few spots in his calendar. So make sure to DM us or comment below, and we'll reach out to you, and I'll get you his calendar.
Yeah. And if you have a marketing campaign that you're getting a lot of results out of and that you want to brag about, man, please bring it here, brag it. I want to hear it. I want to see, I want to high five, and I'm always interested, just like you.
Someone said Remind. Have you heard of that one?
Remind?
Remind.com.
No.
What about, here's a question. What about RealFlow? Now they have an AI tech. Have you tried it? Why PropStream over RealFlow?
Great question. To be quite frank about it, RealFlow. So I know RealFlow pretty well I used to know it pretty well. I was on the development team of RealFlow. So, I wasn't on the development team. I want to be careful. I was on the bug team. So I was a user that they were in beta for a lot of different things. And because I worked at Fortune Builders for 7 years. And so RealFlow was a really highly integrated with Fortune Builders. And I tried to use RealFlow and tried to make RealFlow work, but I could never get results out of that platform. So that was pretty disappointing and frustrating. The list, I could never get a good response rate out of the lists. It just was unreliable in my experience. So that was disappointing. So as far as where they have evolved in the last year or two or whatever, I don't know. I can't speak to that. So their AI tech might be really cool. I just don't know. But PropStream has been proven to be reliable and get results. So I follow the results. If wherever I'm getting consistent results is where I'm going to continue to go. So unfortunately, the answer lies there.
Cool. Yeah, we have some people who are looking at PropStream, so definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Go to our guide, and we can even walk you through an overview of how to use that. Also, check us out on YouTube. We have a great YouTube channel that we're posting a lot of content over there. This versus that, the things that we use, tutorials, all kinds of great stuff.
Yep. Yeah. These types of questions. I love the questions that are coming in. Why this versus this? Those are great questions. And not that I always have all of the answers, but I'll share exactly my experience always for what it is. And if you can get something out of it, great. If not, at least I shared. So, but I've been doing these experiments obsessively for a long, long time. So I've tried just about everything. From building Podio spaces to InvestorFuse to REI Vault to, the Black Book and to all these different things. So at the end of the day, we all got to create systems that work and have scale to them. And that's what I'm striving after. So if you ever have any questions about, trying to reach scale with your business or virtual wholesaling, how to do it virtually in other markets, that's where I can really help people set their business up to be, run remotely. Like I'm in 15 different markets right now from my home office. So it's pretty cool.
You guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for showing up. If you're inside of our Facebook group, Real Estate Investment Strategies, make sure to check out the events tab. I'm going to be booking a ton of different trainings like this, really quick, to the point, so that we can get you guys running, and we can all help each other build a scalable real estate investment engine. I'm excited. Excited for that. Please make sure to comment below and engage, introduce yourself if you haven't introduced yourself already. And that's about it. Thanks for being here.
All right, guys. Thank you. I look forward to talking to you guys soon.
All right. See you on the next video. Bye.